Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, Luther Shield, Desolation, Peasants, Vassals, Homeowners. It is I, a useful idiot, and today we will talk about the Federal Housing Authority. And I know it doesn't sound too exciting, but we're going to make it exciting because the excitement is only building as we speak. And that is because the Federal Housing Authority is probably going to need a taxpayer bailout, and that's where you come in. And so the big story here is the Federal Housing Authority took on an expanded role during the real estate collapse, much the same way that Fannie and Freddie did. And historically, this department, the Federal Housing Authority, was for insuring mortgages with low down payments for credit-worthy but low-income borrowers. And it functioned quite well for some time doing that. But of course, during the financial collapse, they changed it so that it was used to insure mortgages up to $730,000. So it no longer was just catering to low-income borrowers. It was catering to middle-class buyers. And their portfolio swelled to over $1 trillion, and that's where it stands today. And critics all along said that the FHA was really not in the position to expand to this extent. They neither had the capital nor the management skill, and that a taxpayer bailout would be inevitable. And of course, they denied it all along. That's something to keep in mind. That all these government departments will deny it all along until somebody crunches the numbers and finds out that they're all liars. And that, they're barely standing, and the FHA is in that position now. So by law, the FHA is supposed to hold reserves equal to 2% of its portfolio, which is pretty staggering in itself, because you think of $1 trillion portfolio, and they merely have to have 2% in reserves to cover that. It hardly seems commensurate at all. And so the problem is, now we have the FHA has reserves that are actually negative, nearly 2%. So the exact opposite of their mandate. So they're at a $16 billion loss as of fiscal 2013. And this will continue to rise, especially as the interest rates stay at a low. The losses could rise to $30 billion or more, and I assure you it will be more. And right now they're raising their premiums and punishing the people that use their service, and they're going to sell off delinquent loans, which, considering 20% of their portfolio is delinquent loans, that tells you that the trouble is hardly over, and that they're in the same position as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And between Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the FHA, that's 90% of the current mortgage market. There are no other players in the mortgage industry right now besides the government. So that's a big problem in itself. And the other part of this, of course, is that the FHA has been being used to prop up this real estate collapse for quite some time. So both the Bush and Obama administrations are guilty for causing this calamity. And so once again, we see in the big things, the Republicans and Democrats walk hand in hand and have the same agenda. And so once again, we see this continuity between the Bush and Obama administrations as this policy was carried on. And what we need to learn from this, I think, is the fact that here, once again, is a government agency, the Federal Housing Authority, that was designed for a good purpose, actually designed to run fairly efficiently and fairly well, and it has done so for quite some time. And I think this story could probably be related to any number of government agencies, certainly Fannie and Freddie, where it's not so much that it's a bad government program, as fact is, other than the actual fact that it's the government corrupting the original purpose of that entity. In a situation like this, that is where the trouble begins. And I think that's probably true of a lot of the entitlement programs too, like Social Security. It's not necessarily that the original plan and system and entitlement system is a failure. It's the fact that the government has corrupted it. In the case of Social Security, of course, they don't make the required deposits to cover it, and then they took the money that was there in the trust fund and spent it. So that's where the real problem is. It's not so much always that it's a government program or an entitlement program that's a failure. And that's the same thing we have here with the Federal Housing Authority. Its original purpose functioned rather well, and now it's been corrupted, and now the taxpayers will pay for it. That's another part of this story, of course, is the fact that it's the bureaucrats and the governments that set these up, and they run efficiently, and then the government corrupts it, and then the people, us, the taxpayers, we get stuck with it. None of them get held responsible. None of them has to pony up. Nobody has to take any responsibility whatsoever. They walk away from the problem. And that's why they do this kind of stuff, because there's no repercussions. They're not held to task for their corruptions. So, and then the other part of this is the big picture here is that, of course, the Federal Housing Authority is one of a number of government agencies that are going to fail and are going to need bailouts. And, of course, the Post Office is the most notable one right now. Now we have the Federal Housing Authority, and sooner or later, believe it or not, somebody's going to have to deal with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Delay and pray is no longer a viable tactic. So anyway, here we go. So get ready. 2013, we're going to see some more bailouts. We're going to see the Post Office get bailed out. We're going to see the Federal Housing Authority get bailed out. And, I'm sure they're not going to touch Fannie and Freddie until far into the future. But this is how it goes. So get ready, taxpayers. I know you're a little under the gun right now, but the government's going to be coming to get more money from you very soon, as if you didn't already know. I'm Useful Idiot. Don't you be one too.